You know, we got Russ to miss some shots, but everyone will always judge Russ' jump shot. But mentally, that can get tough.
I can't believe we're already making another video on this. I thought we were going to be good for at least a couple of weeks after our previous Russell Westbrook video, but man, it doesn't appear to be the case, especially after the Clippers lost to the Golden State Warriors. We have a lot to talk about. The way it was done is just, we have so much to discuss here. Before we get to the content, make sure you drop a like, subscribe, and turn on our notifications to help the channel grow. Now that we get all that out of the way, cue the intro. So I've made almost $5,000 playing this game over the past couple months and posting my picks and selections onto my Instagram story for you guys to follow them. And the game that I'm obviously talking about is Prize Picks. Right now, when you use my promo code microphone, they'll match up to $100 of your initial deposit with another $100. And it's been a lot of fun. I mean, yesterday I had Killian Hayes getting less than 21 points, rebounds, and assists. You went into the third quarter with 18, and he finished the game with 20.5. I can't tell you how euphoric that feeling was when I saw that I was able to make $210 off of a pick that came within 0.5 of not hitting. So if you want to check out Prize Picks, make sure you use my promo code microphone for a free 100% deposit match up to $100. And follow me on Instagram if you want to follow my picks on Instagram. Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's going on, everybody? I want to start out by complimenting the Los Angeles Clippers because I've complimented them tremendously for the moves that they made during the trade deadline. I mean, I think the moves that they made during the trade deadline was either at the same level or even slightly better than the Los Angeles Lakers. And you guys know me, I'm a huge Laker fan. For those of you guys that don't know what they did, the Los Angeles Clippers were able to get Bones Highland from the Denver Nuggets, pennies on the dollar. Honestly, a lot of people ripped the Denver Nuggets for just giving up Bones Highland like that. And they thought that it was eventually going to bite the Denver Nuggets, especially in the playoffs. So that's not it. The Los Angeles Clippers decided to bring back a familiar face, Eric Gordon. They traded away Luke Kennard. They brought in Mason Plumlee. But it seems like there's one decision that they made that overshadowed all the rest of the decisions. And that's the fact that the Los Angeles Clippers decided to trade away John Wall back to the Houston Rockets. Really kind of awkward because he said this about them.
Trash.
I don't know.
I know. Beyond trash. Like, he don't come to training camp, none of that. So, you know, that news is all toxic for me.
And sign Russell Westbrook to a veteran minimum contract because he's in the buyout market. I immediately said that this signing was very, very low risk and high reward. You're pretty much swapping out John Wall for Russell Westbrook. And this has happened before. Ironically, Russell Westbrook was traded for John Wall at a different point in his career when John Wall was traded from the Washington Wizards to the Houston Rockets for Russell Westbrook. So these two have always been linked. I mean, there were rumors about the Lakers trading Russell Westbrook for John Wall last year when Russell Westbrook wasn't working out. So it's kind of interesting that these two players who have a very similar play style have been linked consistently. It's only been 4 games so far, and I'm going to be honest, I said no matter what happens here, it's not like the Clippers are going to go net negative because you might as well try things out. If things weren't working with John Wall and he was sitting at the end of the bench, you might as well bring in Russell Westbrook, who has a ton of chemistry with Paul George in the past. And I've said repeatedly that he'd be a remarkable fit for the Los Angeles Clippers, a team that has great three-point shooters, a tremendous amount of depth, great two-way players as well, and he definitely has the ability to create for Kawhi Leonard and Paul George. Unfortunately, things haven't gone so swimmingly so far. In our last video, we discussed how Tyronn Lue had some trouble in regards to figuring out when to play Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook debuted with 2 straight losses, while it's now 4 straight losses, but in the first 2, it was against the Denver Nuggets and the Sacramento Kings. In one of those games, you had Tyronn Lue playing Russell Westbrook at the end of the game and benching Terrence Mann at the end of the game. And at the other game, you had Terrence Mann playing at the end of the game and Russell Westbrook being benched. And Tyronn Lue pretty much said the same thing for both situations. This is what he said at first.
Terrence only played 18 minutes tonight. I don't know if it was directly affected by anyone else, but like, what did you make of his production? You know, is there a chance
he was good. He should have played more.
What do you, looking back on it, what do you think you could have changed?
I could have played him more.
And following that, he said the exact same thing pretty much, but for the other player.
You know, I thought Russ did a good job tonight. Probably should have played him a little bit more, but we caught a good rhythm and a good flow. Kind of took the lead, and so I kind of stuck with our guys.
Needless to say, we put that on the back burner because maybe the Los Angeles Clippers needed some time to figure things out. It's okay, new teammates need to become acclimated to one another. The Sacramento Kings are a remarkable team. The Denver Nuggets are the top seed in the West. Ideally, you beat those teams, especially when you're in the thick of the Western Conference, especially when the Western Conference playoff picture currently looks like this. But unfortunately, that's not what happened. And it seems like the Clippers are slipping at the worst possible time. They didn't only lose to those teams, they lost to the Minnesota Timberwolves as well, who are currently in 8th place. And then in their most recent game, a game against the Golden State Warriors, who, by the way, the Warriors were behind the Clippers prior to this game. Obviously, this was a very big must-win game. If the Golden State Warriors win, they're able to get to 5th place. If the Los Angeles Clippers win, they're able to get into 5th place. So clearly, this Clippers team was locked and loaded. I mean, I felt like they were going to come to play. I actually predicted incorrectly on PrizePicks that Klay Thompson would have multiple turnovers because, well, you're going to have Paul George and Kawhi Leonard on you. You're going to be controlling the ball a decent amount. I guess I was wrong. That's the unfortunate part of PrizePicks. You do lose. But the main thing that stole the show for this game in particular was not only the fact that the Clippers weren't able to win, but the fact that the Clippers got absolutely massacred by the Steph Curry-less Golden State Warriors. And if you do look at highlights of the game, you're not going to see a lot of highlights of the game. As a matter of fact, the only thing you're going to see talked about last night was this particular moment. The fact that the Golden State Warriors had no respect at all whatsoever for Russell Westbrook. I mean, I've seen sagging off of players before. I've seen sagging off of players that can't shoot the three before. I've never seen guarding a player from the paint. I mean, look at Russell Westbrook's OKC Thunder highlights. This man was the king of the pull-up elbow mid-range jumper. I don't know what happened here. I was like shocked. And he did attempt to shoot threes multiple times. I mean, don't think he didn't try. He definitely did. Like you can see over here in particular, Russell Westbrook attempts not only one three, they give him the ball back and he tries an additional three. He misses both of them. You could understand why this is a huge problem. And you can also understand why this is so baffling, by the way. Not because
Russell Westbrook is a horrible three-point shooter.
He's not incredible, but he is shooting 29.5% from three. He's made open threes before. You'd assume he'd be able to. And you'd assume, since this has been the one hole in his game that he was able to magically solve during the 2016 to 2017 season, by the way, when he hit 34% of his threes after shooting 7.2 threes per game, which is a number that he hasn't even come close to matching ever since. You can obviously see why, one, this is a very unique situation, and two, this could ruin the Los Angeles Clippers. I mean, like, this was very meme-worthy defense. I mean, just looking back at it over and over again, this is absolutely ridiculous. Like, guarding someone at the paint, I'm gonna say this over and over again, is bizarre. I mean, I've never seen this before as a basketball fan. I've never seen players back off of Shaquille O'Neal that far when he had the ball at three. That's how crazy it is to me. And Draymond Green even provided some insight about that. This is what Draymond had to say about his incredibly aggressive strategy against Russell Westbrook.
The game plan worked for us tonight. We got Russ to miss some shots, but I think when you have a game plan like that, even more so, I know everyone will always judge Russ' jump shot, but what that does to you mentally is tough. And I think, it was more so the mental than his shot. He's been shooting the ball well. I think he's shooting a three like at 33 or 34%. But mentally, that can get tough.
So this is obviously a huge problem. I'm not going to sit here and say,
oh my God, the Los Angeles Clippers are 0-4 because of Russell Westbrook.
But I think it's important to note that Russell Westbrook has lost his last 14 games as a starter. That's a bizarre statistic. I mean, you're going all the way back to last year, obviously, because he came off the bench for the Lakers this year. But still, look at all of these losses. That's a bizarre statistic. And I feel a lot of empathy for Russell Westbrook. I mean, at this point, man, you've played with so many talented players. I mean, I don't think anyone has the resume that Russell Westbrook has. I mean, yes, you could say D'Angelo Russell in a sense, because he had the opportunity to play with LeBron James, Kobe Bryant, Anthony Davis. Like, those are some very impressive human beings to be able to share the basketball with. But with Russell Westbrook, you got to play with Kevin Durant, James Harden on 2 separate occasions, Bradley Beal. I guess you could throw Carmelo Anthony in there. We'll put an asterisk by that. Paul George on 2 separate occasions. And obviously, LeBron James and Anthony Davis. And now he's playing with Paul George and Kawhi Leonard once again on a very deep and loaded team, and he's probably in the best position that he possibly could be in if he wants to win a championship. So if it doesn't work with the Los Angeles Clippers in a situation like this, where he's in the greatest position that he could possibly succeed in, what makes you think that it's going to work with any other team? I mean, I feel so much empathy for the man. He made a lot of money. He's won an MVP. Yeah, he's chasing a ring. He's definitely gone through a tough time with the Lakers, but this was embarrassing, dude. The Golden State Warriors blew out the Los Angeles Clippers without Steph Curry in a game that could have resulted in the Clippers staying in 5th place and hell, even chasing 4th place. As a matter of fact, the Clippers would be in 3rd place if they won their last 4 games. So the fact that they're in 7th place as opposed to 3rd place at a specific point, you'd have to think that Tyronn Lue's gonna look at the film and say, what happened to Russell Westbrook's absolutely ridiculous. We should throw Terrence Mann out there instead. Maybe we should have Eric Gordon out there instead. I don't think Russell Westbrook was like the end all be all. They weren't like putting all of their eggs in the Russell Westbrook basket to be successful this year. But man, I really just wish this worked out for him, and I hope it does in the future. The Los Angeles Clippers don't have a lot of time to figure it out either. They have about 17 more games to make a push into the playoffs. Let me know in the comment section down below, what do you guys think about all this? What do you think the future of the Clippers is going to look like? What do you think Russell Westbrook's future is going to look like? They're 0-4 since signing him. I'd like to hear what you have to say. Aside from that, I'm your boy Mike. I'm dropping our mic until our next upload.